Hey guys, Reyka here, and in this video I'm going to be going over everything I'm taking with me on my 3-month trip to Spain, all within a carry-on and a personal item. Now, I'm guessing when you heard that I'm only taking a carry-on and a personal item on a 3-month trip, you were surprised. But actually, there are a lot of ways that you can consolidate your luggage, and I'm going to show you that today. I'm going to separate my video into 2 sections. The first being packing tips for long-term travel, and the second one being what I am packing. Also, if you're interested in getting any of the things that I'm packing with me on my trip, I'm gonna put the links down below in the description. On to packing tips. Now, I feel like there's a misconception within long-term travel packing, and that is that people feel like they need a ton of clothes in their suitcases, when in fact, that's not true. I'm packing for a 3-month long trip. So you might think that I need 3 months worth of clothing, when in reality, all I need is about 1 or 2 weeks worth of clothing to get me to that next time that I wash my clothes. The next tip is avoid clothing that can wrinkle. I never pack clothes that can wrinkle because most of the time, as soon as you pack them, you're gonna need to iron them out. And you never know when you're going to encounter an iron on your travels. It's just way easier and it saves you a ton of stress to get clothes that don't wrinkle. Next tip is to bring easily washable clothing. You never want to bring delicate clothing or clothing that could get ruined in the wash because you never know where you're going to wash your clothes. You could be washing your clothes in a random laundromat or at a low quality Airbnb washer, for example. And some of the time, you probably won't be able to separate your clothing. You might just have to pile it all in there. And because of that, it's just easier to get clothes that are really easily washable that you can just put it all in there, wash it, and get out of there. Another tip is to pack neutral clothing that can mismatch with each other. Especially since you're packing light, you're gonna wanna bring clothing that can be worn in many different variations. So for example, you're gonna want a top that can go with many different pants, and you're gonna wanna have a bottom that can go with many different tops. Next tip, get as large of a personal item as you can that can still fit under your plane seat. This eBags backpack was given to me by my dad. Shout out to my dad. And I really didn't think too much about it at the time when he bought it for me, but this bag has probably turned into the #1 thing that I would recommend to you guys getting if you are traveling long-term or traveling multiple places at a time. With this bag being so big, it has allowed me to take so much more stuff with me that I need on my travels than if I was just to take a small personal item bag and a carry-on that I normally have. It has also allowed Wyatt and I to go on weekend trips to various places and not have to pay any extra fees for a carry-on because I can just put all my stuff for the weekend trip in here. It has so many pockets for so many different things. It has this pocket, which is, nope, that's not the main pocket. Oh. Here is the main pocket. You can open it up, and then there's this little mesh part of the bag. I can literally fit, and I have fit, 3 pairs of shoes in this one section of the bag. 3 pairs. That holds a lot of weight in your carry-on, so being able to put my shoes in my personal item saves me so much more space to put more heavier items that I might not be able to put in my carry-on with my shoes in my carry-on. These are the shoes that I'm gonna bring with me on my travels. But look, they can all fit in here. That's crazy. And I've done all that and can still fit this backpack under the plane seat. And with that, we're gonna move to part 2, which is what I am packing. First up is clothing. I'll be going to Reyka when it's still a little bit chilly, and I'll be staying there as it starts to warm up, so I have to get a variety of clothing. I am bringing 5 sweaters, 2 sweatshirts, 12 shirts, 2 long sleeves, and the rest are either short sleeves or tank tops, 6 pairs of pants, which consist of 1 pair of jeans, 2 pairs of joggers, and 3 pairs of leggings. I'm bringing 2 pairs of shorts, 1 pair of athletic shorts, and 1 pair of jean shorts. I'm bringing 1 bathing suit, and this particular bathing suit can also double as a top, so it's a win-win. I'm also bringing 5 pairs of socks, 2 crew socks, 2 pairs of ankle socks, and then 1 pair of socks that I'm using for hiking. These particular socks are really great if you want to do any type of adventuring, hiking, camping, etc. I recommend. I'm bringing a pair of Converse, a pair of sandals, and a pair of tennis shoes. Now we're gonna move on to medicines and vitamins. This doesn't always happen, especially if you're in a big city, but you have to be prepared because there are a lot of places, especially small towns like Reyka, Spain, where I'm going, that don't have the name brand medications that they offer in the US. They do have ibuprofen and stuff, but it's different brands, and to make myself feel better and to just know what I'm putting in my body, I like to bring my own medicine. Here it all is. First up is allergy medication. I take Claritin and Zaditor eye drops. I didn't always carry allergy medication with me everywhere, and that was a big mistake. Definitely one of the biggest things I regretted not packing. I also have Advil or ibuprofen, Midol Complete, and of course, Tylenol. Let's move on to my vitamins. I bring Women's Once a Day Daily Vitamins, Vitamin D3, Vitamin C, Once a Day Daily Women's Probiotic. And then I also have my prescription drugs. Now we're gonna move on to extras. I don't really like to use hairbands. I like to use scrunchies most of the time, so I pack a lot of them. I also pack 2 pairs of sunglasses. I'm also bringing a water bottle. I also have headphones, which are really necessary for those plane rides. You're gonna want them. And I have Soundcore Bluetooth headphones. They're very similar to AirPods. I'm not quite sure on the quality of AirPods, but I do know that the quality of these Soundcore headphones are really, really nice. And they are a great deal on Amazon if you want to check them out. Next, I'm gonna go over the toiletries that I bring with me everywhere. So a lot of the time, Wyatt and I tend to buy a lot of our toiletry stuff at the local stores where we end up going, but there are a few things that I like to bring everywhere with me. First, a toothbrush, Oral-B Super Floss, a really nice hairbrush, deodorant, and a travel-size toothpaste. I didn't bring this with me the last time I traveled long term, but I really think this might be useful, especially if me and Wyatt end up going on weekend trips. Another toiletry that takes up quite a bit of room is my Once a Day Daily contacts. And that's pretty much it for the things that I bring toiletry-wise. Now we're gonna go on to important documents. I put all my important documents in this particular fanny pack, and it comes so much in handy. It has been so helpful in many of my travels. It has a lot of different pockets and compartments to put all your stuff in, and it's RFID proof. Really good if you have credit cards in here and are worried about pickpocketers. Now, what's inside this lovely pouch of mine? My passport, of course, my COVID vaccine card, and my Charles Schwab travel debit card, which, let me tell you, is probably the number 2 most important, if not tied for first, of something that I would recommend getting if you are traveling long term, especially places that have different currency than your own, where you'll have to go to an ATM. This card does the current exchange rate, and it also refunds you for any foreign transaction fees that may happen. And that's pretty much it for important documents that I take everywhere. Obviously, because of COVID and everything, there are certain documents that you need for certain countries, but we're not gonna get into that in this video. Next up is gear. Now, I'm not gonna go over the long list of things that Wyatt and I bring for our vlogging, because that's a whole nother video. But I am gonna go over the particular gear that we feel would be useful for you if you're going on a long-term trip, minus the vlogging. Yeah, this is not proper gear use at all, just pre-warning. First up is a phone charger and a computer charger. These are definitely not ready for travel. I'm gonna need to wind these up a little bit, but you get the point. Really important. The next thing, which I'm filming on right now so I can't show you, is a phone. My phone has come in so useful many times throughout me and Wyatt's travels. It can serve as a camera, it can serve as a Google Maps for getting around. It can call people, FaceTime people if you need it, text people, anything that you may want to do if you're bored or traveling or need something, the phone is a great thing to have. Also my computer. Another thing you may want if you are a digital nomad like me and working online, or if you want to watch a movie and you don't have a TV around. Next up is a portable charger. Now, this isn't technically mine that I bring on my travels. Wyatt and I actually have 2 other kinds, which I'll link down below. But I wanted to show it because it is so important to have a portable charger when you're traveling, especially when you're trying to film and take a lot of footage like we do every day. Sometimes you're in an Airbnb or a hostel that doesn't really have very many plugs and you can't really plug your stuff in. That can be really hard, so having a portable charger would be really nice to just make sure that you have battery. The last piece of gear that I really wanted to discuss is another one that I would totally recommend to you. And that is an adapter strip. Now, this is only useful if you're going to a country that has different adapters, like Europe, for example. This particular adapter strip is the Septix 230W travel adapter and power converter. What's so cool about this particular strip is that A, it's a strip, so you can plug in a ton of different things all at once while utilizing one plugin. And number two, it is also a power converter, like I said before. Some of you may not know this, but different countries have different power that they use in their plugins. To be honest, I'm not quite sure exactly how it works. I'm not a scientist. But point of the story is that sometimes you can plug in things and it uses up too much power and it can burn out. But having a power converter means that it will convert the plugin to the correct power frequency, I guess? Not quite sure. Look it up on Amazon. It is so nice. Link below. And that's pretty much it. I hope you guys found this video helpful, and if you have any questions, feel free to comment below. I will try to get back to you as soon as I can. And if you're interested in following me and Wyatt on our journey to 50 countries, make sure to subscribe. Bye, guys.